Today I want to share with you 5 tips that can totally help you in your watercolor process. Now, this might seem obvious to you, but if you haven't started doing this, do this now. Use 2 water containers. The reason 2 water containers are important is the first one's going to be your primary wash. That's when you're going to wash most of your brushes and it's going to get the dirtiest the quickest. Your second container should be in reserve specifically for clean water. So when you need to go back to your painting and you need clean water, that's why you have 2. And honestly, it's going to save you a lot of time of having to rinse out one container. Moving on to the next one is the magic eraser. You might have heard of this tip before, but I highly recommend it. A magic eraser is created specifically to clean dirt or lift away dirt. And on a watercolor paper, it can do the exact same thing. So if you made a mistake, or if you need some highlights like sunlight shining through the trees, use a magic eraser. But a word of caution here for you. Because this is abrasive, if you use it too hard, it could actually damage your paper. So be careful with the magic that comes from a magic eraser. The next habit or tip that I recommend is before jumping into a large watercolor painting, I highly recommend that you use small studies first. I have this sketchbook here that I go through, and I actually will do a small study of the larger painting that I'm planning on. There's a couple of reasons why I do this. One is I have the freedom of making mistakes because I don't necessarily care if the mistakes come. I also like testing out the colors beforehand so I can see how they work well together. And I also like looking at the composition to see if I need to move anything around before working for the larger paper. So if you're worried about messing up on a large watercolor painter, try doing a smaller study first. The next one is similar to a tip I gave on a previous video about using yellow to create an underlayer of glow or light. But rather than yellow, I recommend using blue. It does the opposite of the yellow. This is a great way to create shadows and depth. I really like it in my mountain scenes. This will create the shadows and the value difference between my light and darks, and I totally recommend to use blue to create that value depth you're looking for. The last one is if you're a watercolor artist and you're using pan paints, or you're looking for a way to get your colors ready for painting, that's where a spray bottle comes into play. A spray bottle is an easy way to mist your paint pigments so that you can start painting again. Now, thanks so much for staying through those 5 tips. And actually, I have a bonus tip here for you. And that, a household iron. After you finish watercolor, usually what happens is your page will warp. Now, if you're using 100% cotton, what you can do is iron your painting flat. Now, a couple of cautions here for you. You want to make sure you have a clean towel between your painting and the iron. You want to use a medium or high temperature and no moisture from the iron. Now, after you iron your painting, you want to let it cool flat. You can even put heavy books on top of it to make sure that it cools flat. And then that way you can get all the warping out. Well, I hope those tips and bonus tips help you in your watercolor process. Please join me every week and click on the links down here to subscribe or leave me a comment. Enjoy painting.